Right, this is this is take two. Basically what's happened is, with this carry on with this Q case, to cut a long story short, SemiPro disappeared on the phone. Acero waited long enough, 10 minutes probably, and then just as SemiPro came back, the Acero disconnected from the room, went to the lobby. I tried to bring him back into the room. He never got in time, and he ended up forfeiting the match. So the bracket has advanced SemiPro through to the final. What they're doing now is we're playing the match on its own with SemiPro with a 1-rack lead, still a race to 9, and basically what they're hoping is that Steve Chaplin can adjust the bracket depending on the outcome of the result. Now obviously the simple thing is, if SemiPro wins the match, nothing needs to be done. If Acero wins the match, then Steve Chaplin will have to change the bracket to advance Acero through. He's the super admin. He's the only one that has access to do all of that to tournaments. None of the other tournament directors or event directors have that capability. So, and he's not here today, or at least he's not showing face. But we'll worry about that when we come to it. In the meanwhile, we've got a match on here at last. And I'm just going to take 2 seconds. I am back. And we'll get a little plug in the lobby, and hopefully we'll get some of the guys rejoining the chat. So that's where we're at. We've got Acero at the table, and he's on the solids, and we never ever got to see the outcome of that bloody rack, the one I was waffling on about with all my lines and arrows and everything. That will remain a mystery as to how that, what was going to happen in that rack. But I know the problem we've got here is we've got the 8-ball nailed to the side rail almost, and Acero has nudged it into play. And the good thing about that shot is he's freed up his 4-ball, but he's got no other shot other than on that 4-ball, and it might have to be an attempted 4-ball, 2-ball combo into the corner, which is a bit of a wild risk. Now, is there any guys back in the Twitch or the YouTube chat? If you are, just let me know, guys, to know that it's still working. Oh, that's good. There's Bill. Bedhead's there as well. That's good that it's still working. Well, Acero is calling a safety. I wonder. Of course, the problem if he calls a safety is he's got no real place to try and hide the cue ball. He's just going to have to bide his time here because SemiPro's got a cut in the 14. Let's have a look down here. He has got a combo. He's got the 11-15, and that 2-ball is a problem ball where the 2-ball's sitting. So he's called the combo. Now he hasn't killed that 11-ball, has he? No, the 11-ball goes. But I think SemiPro's going to end up hiding here because I don't think he's going to get a clean run out. And the main reason for that is unless he drops through on that 10-ball about there, that's the only way he's going to be able to pot that. But he can't do that with this 2-ball here. That's the problem. Unless he gets an angle to try and nudge that out. But I think he might end up trying to hide behind the 8 ball or something like that. But even so, the 4 ball on the right hand side still a shot. Well, is he going to try and nudge that 10 on off the 8? I think it's too... I don't think there's enough room for him to hit that 8 thin enough for the 10 ball to drop in. I think he'll end up hitting it too thick and the 10 ball will just end up on the edge. We'll soon find out. Yep, that was what I thought. 10 ball just left on the edge, but I think he's actually played a... Has he played a good shot? Yes, he has. It's left Acero a kick. Still going to have to be a good kick. Just got to cut the edge of that too and send it to the pocket. He's got it too thick. So again, second bite at the cherry here for SemiPro, and this time you would think he has to get the job done. Now, is he looking to find a rail to get on that 13? If he has, he's left it short, but he's got the backup ball. He's got the 14. Well, this is risky, because he can easily take the 14 and leave that 13 for the next shot. I think this is risky to be taking this on. I don't think he's thinking enough here. Well, that's risky, but he's got it. Risky shot to take, and it certainly had to go in because he had an easier way of getting that 13 than what he did. And now the angle's good on the 14. Can just nudge the 14 a little stun, or just a run through if he doesn't want to risk the stun. So this 8 ball for 2-0. And acero to break off in rack number 3. Well, we say rack number 3, but we know what we're talking about. It's only the second rack, but it is rack number 3 as far as the match goes. So a couple of balls have gone in. And look at these pairs that we've got married up here. We've got 2 there, 2 there. And the 3's fairly close to the 8, but I think the 3's more open. Goes in past the 8, no problem. And the other issue is the fact that, well, those are 2 stripes that are tied up there. So Acero's made his choice. He's going for the solids. And has immediate problems with the 2 ball, which is tight, but I think that goes no problem. 5 ball, easy enough to get to the 5 ball if you can find a gap. And I say easy enough, but where he is now, he can drop the 4 in. Will it squeeze past the 9? Yes, it does. I think he's maybe hit that too hard. He can certainly still drop the 2 in. Would like to draw as close to the rail as he can. Just reduce the angle in this 5, just make it simple. Just drop the 5 in. So an important rack for Acero to win, get himself on the board. Just trailing by the 1. The break goes back to SemiPro in rack number 4. A couple of balls in the break again. And now we've got 2 solids tied up on the top left, the 7 and the 5 ball. And we've got two solids on the right hand side acting as blockers for the stripe 11, which SemiPro has just taken the opportunity straight away to deal with that issue. And now, well, everything is looking good here for SemiPro. These balls are all sitting perfect for the run out. 14 ball goes past the 2 every day of the week, not a problem there. And he was tempted there, I think, looking at that 14, but I think the 14 has to be the last ball, because that way he's then just got a cut on the 8 ball. And now he's out of line, he's going to have to take the 14, I think. He doesn't want to be running around with this cue ball off that 10. And that will do. So, a good break. A good breakout of the problem ball. First chance he had. And a run out to SemiPro to open up the 2-rack gap again. So, 3-1 to SemiPro. And acero in rack number 5 breaking off, but it looks dry to me. Anything go? Oh, balls must go in the pockets that bloody quick. I can't see them. There's 2 balls running in that break, and I don't know where they went. I think I was looking at the chat at the time. A couple of balls in the break. Well, where his cue is at the moment with the cue ball, you get 4 solids all around one another, and you've also got the 7 ball hiding up there as well. Let's look. We've got the 7, the 1, the 3, the 5, the 4 and the 2 all gathered together there, and if he takes this pink 12 he can get the 13 easily enough. Let's have a look. So Acero's taking the stripes. He's going to deal with the problem here, and he's looking good to get a quick response here, acero. Doesn't want to let SemiPro get away, and he's judged the pace in that nice. Lovely little use of the English to spin around the corner. And this 8 ball, bring it back to just the 1. And it has been a pretty good standard so far. This is what you'd expect. Guys fighting to get to the final. So SemiPro's break. Again, a couple of balls in the break. This time there's a major problem here. And the major problem's the 8 ball. That is in jeopardy of going into a pocket by accident if players start banging balls about the table here. And of course the other problem is that, well, those stripe balls are now going to be aceros because SemiPro's chosen the solids. There's no way of getting to that 8 ball, none whatsoever, with the balls as they're sat at the moment. And that 8 ball just waiting a mistake. Well, there's one possibility I can see here, but it all hinges on getting rid of that 9 ball. The one possibility, of course, is the bank on the pink 12. But that's tight. There's no good position to play that a bank on that 12 other than down here. Any other position, you've got virtually no chance of getting in. But that, as long as that 9 ball stays there, that's out of the equation. So Acero's going to do nothing to advance his prospects of winning this rack by moving that pink 12 ball. He's just going to try and tie SemiPro up, which is what he's done. And the mistake has been made, but it's ball in hand now. Unless Acero can get right behind that pink 12 and pot it along the rail and get rid of it, it's the only way he would then go for the run out. That's what I'm thinking. And it doesn't even look good there either. And even if you squeeze the cue ball in there, it's tight to squeeze that past the 9. The 9 is the biggest bloody problem in the table for Acero to do anything. Now, here would be a brave shot. If he rolls the 9 in and he rolls the cue ball through, that's the only way he's going to get a chance to play a bank on that 12. That's a possibility. And he would be actually hitting it right off virtually the point of the jaw to make the bank. He's not looked at that option, but that is an option. As slim a chance as it might be, if he leaves an angle in the 9, he can pot the 9 and he can run the cue ball down to about there. Almost he wants to get to that first diamond to make it a reasonable bank. And he could bank the 12. It's a possibility. I don't like either option he's got here, but I think if he's going to be aggressive, to me that's the most likely shot he has. So now he's looking to just hide again. So that's now actually put the ball into SemiPro's court here. He's saying, well, there you go. He hasn't quite got everything hidden. He might be able to, I think he can see plenty of this 4 ball to pot it. And it's just hung up in the jaw. Well, Acero's got away with that a bit. But he's still got the 9 ball problem. That 9 ball might end up helping SemiPro here unless Acero can get himself in behind it somehow, which is a possibility here. He's got a tight little window to get in to be able to play a shot in that 9. Unless he wants to risk leaving a bank on it. And of course we haven't even mentioned this 11 ball. That 11 ball looks nailed to the rail. And that is tough. That isn't easy at all. And of course we've got the 4 ball block in this pocket. So Acero's chances of running this rack or getting any joy out of it, to me, are fairly slim. Because he's got these problem areas in the table. He's got one problem in the left and one in the right, and he's got no way of dealing with it unless he's aggressive to the extent that it's going to end up costing him anyway. The 11 ball isn't a good bank because it's so tight to the rail. It's difficult to judge. And I think in the end he just gave up and had a slam at it. I think he thought that was the best way of getting over this rack. Yeah. I think he felt it was a lost cause and just had a slam and a hope. But either way, well, look what's happened here. Well, the 8-ball's going to take care of itself. That'll get respotted. But SemiPro is back to a 2-rack lead. 4 racks to 2. And as I said there, Acero's chances of winning that rack had virtually gone out the window. Unless he had... But I still think he had the opportunity to play that 9-ball down the rail. He was sitting there on the 9, had a slight angle, could have run it down and got down to here and played the bank. That was a shot to open up the table and keep yourself in control of the table. Certainly for that part, but of course, remember that 11-ball was stuck to the right-hand rail, so even then it was still a big ask for him to run out. But here we go again in rack number 7. Acero on the solids, and the 1-ball is the problem now. What's the iron up here? Well, he can pot the 2. That's plain and simple, to pot the 2, but can he find a way of getting the cue ball somewhere over here to be able to play that 1 into the middle? Because the 1's got a big gap there into the middle. Or how does he get there? Does he get there off the 5? Does he draw back up? Let's see how he works his way to deal with this 1-ball. He might try that now. He might try and squeeze behind the 10. If he misses it, he's still got the 5-ball anyway. And he's tried to... Well, he's actually made it worse. The 13's now blocking the path to the pocket, but the 1-ball has plenty of room past the 10. If he can get the shot, he might have to leave the long cut. Well, he's not doing it from there, and he's running out of chances. Let's look at what we have here. Well, he can cut that 1, and the thin cut would bring the cue ball back up the table. But either way, it's a risky shot. He needs to play a good one. Still needs to be a good one on this 1. Plenty of room to get back up for the 8 though. He just needs to focus solely on the 1-ball. The cue ball does the rest. And that is perfect. That's a good run out. It's a good run out from the point of view that he's under pressure. When you're 4-2 down in a race to 9, an alternate break, you've got to stay with him. And he's only 1 behind. And this time, SemiPro breaks off and the 15-ball has gone. How do you work that out, Bedhead? What is it? Is a tournament bracket showing that Frankel has won the tournament? Let's have a look at the bracket then. Hang on a minute. Where the hell are we? I need to... Oh shit, hang on. Right. I need to find a bloody bracket. Hang on. Where the hell is it? Ah. The bracket's missing now. The bracket's missing off the bloody the show banners. So I can't get to it. I can't get to the bracket. I would need to go to the lobby and post the link for the result of that match earlier on to be able to get to the bracket. I'm not searching for it in the calendar. It would take bloody weeks to find it. Anyway, we'll worry about that because something needs to be fixed anyway, so Steve's the only one that can do it. We're back at the match, semi-pro at the table, on the solids, and odds on certainty surely to open up the 2-rack gap again. Yeah. Well, even when you think about it, the fact that that result has gone through and it's put a player through at the final, the same thing, you're right enough, the same thing did happen in the 9-ball one where the loser's side player went through and then the bloody bracket finished the tournament. That's crazy. So that just shows you he hasn't fixed the problem, whatever the hell it is. Anyway, it's back to 5-3 here to semi-pro in a short race tonight. Oh, Miss Cuba, semi-pro. Well, now, there are times in matches when mistakes, your own mistakes and your own carelessness can cost you dear. And that might be the mistake that might come back to haunt semi-pro. He's 5-3 up. He's got a reasonably good table. And he's messed up with a miscue, and he's given ball in hand to Acero. And just bear that in mind for the end of this match. That's all I'm saying. Things like that can turn the tide. And the balls might start going against you as well. So Acero, again, he's under pressure, trailing by the 2 racks. And it's a must-win rack for Acero. A golden opportunity, a gift out of nothing. And he's got to make the most of it. Well, the combo played in the 1. The 1 ball was called. Still sitting good. Now, I think he's 2 straight in the 2 ball. He's got an angle in the 5 to get out and be able to take that 4. Now, the question is did he play on the 4 there? Because if he did, he's made a complete hash of it. And he's locked himself out in the 6. I think he played for the 4. We'll never know. Hopefully you're sending me a link, Bedhead. Thanks very much. Right, let's bring up this bracket. Let's have a look. Yeah, the thing's bloody broken. Broken to hell. So it is. That's crazy. Well, if it happens in one tournament, you know, the quick fix is to go in and change players' names about manually. The proper fix is to look at where the fault is and fix it, and he hasn't done it. And it's a problem in NRT tournaments. Right, thanks for the link, Bedhead. So anyway, Acero has a tough 4 ball. And he's played it perfect. Has he? Oh, I thought he'd played it perfect. Just went to that jaw, just feathered the jaw. And it's hung up. And he'd left himself in the gap on the 8 ball. Well, SemiPro lives again, and all of a sudden Acero's chances have more or less gone out the window in this rack. He had to run the rack from that gift from nowhere and just got himself out of shape, blocked himself off. I don't think he was playing for the 6. If he was, then he would have surely made sure he got on it, hit it too hard. I think he was hitting it hard enough to get round for that. Was it the 4 ball? Can't remember now. But now he's hidden from the 4, and even if he kicks the 4 in, he's still got no chance of winning this rack. He'd have to get the cue ball out into the table and play a cross bank on the 8 ball if he could. He's got a slim to zero chance of doing anything here. So ball in hand for SemiPro. And when you look at it as well, I mean, SemiPro could get really careless and do something daft again, like a miscue, but he's doing the right thing here. Get rid of the 4 ball, and he's making sure that Acero's got absolutely no sight on the 8 ball at all. And it might see what the same thing has happened in the rack early. He might just have a bang and give up, because he's staring 6-3 on the scoreboard any second. Well, that's going to be ball in hand again, because he's kicked in behind the 8, and of course he hasn't hit the rail after hitting the object ball. SemiPro is looking to play a combo. Is that the 11 ball onto the 8 and onto the 9? He's calling the 9. And the 8 ball is now in the open. And of course the other thing is, should SemiPro make a mistake, the 8 ball doesn't paw it with the 13 block in the pocket there, so he's got an emergency backup just in case. Well, worst thing that's going to happen here is he's going to scratch the right middle pocket if he gets a little too much juice on this. Well, he's gone beyond the middle pocket. And this for 6-3. And I don't think either player will realise that the bracket is messed up. Of course, the end of the match, one player is going to have to get in contact with the super admin and get him to look at the tournament and get it fixed. Now, the obvious problem is there's money being paid out, there's money getting into guys' accounts, so Steve Chaplin's got all of that to deal with. All those payments already will have been made. Well, I presume they've been made. It might even be broken to the extent that nobody's got any money either. But anyway, we're in rack number 10. Acero at the table has chosen the stripes. Now, one thing I would say is, remember the last match that Acero played, I'm pretty certain, was it against Tommy Yu, or was it, who the hell was it? Was it you, Bedhead? I can't remember, but whatever match it was, he was behind by about 4 racks. I think it was Tommy Yu. And Acero got a little bit of an assistance from Tommy Yu, but made the most of it, and basically hardly ever missed anything at all, and won the match 9-7. Well, he's at that stage now in this match. It's got to be no miss, and he has to somehow try and get rid of that deficit. He's got no margin of error. He's got very few racks to play with. And as I've said before, when you're 6-3 down in a race to 9 in an alternate break format, you're always swimming against the tide. That's the feeling. No matter how hard you try and how often you win your own racks, when the other guy's doing the same thing and you're trailing, you've got no chance of catching him. That's how the odds are stacked against Acero right now. So this 8 ball to get back within 2, trailing by 6 racks to 4. Now, where's the break gone? Well, that's a good rack to win because the break's now gone back to Acero. Desperate for a ball. Well, pink 12 stripe balls going into the top right, but look at the mess of balls up there. Now, what choice of shot do you have here? Not a lot. Not a lot. I mean, he could take the 6, and then, well, if he get out into the table, he could pot the 5 and try and break something out here to open up this corner, because he needs to get rid of that 15 ball if he's taking the solids. Whatever he does, he can't leave himself dead straight on this 5. Well, I have a funny feeling he's gone too far again. I don't think he wanted to go as far up there. He wanted to be playing that 5 from like there, somewhere like that, to leave an angle to move things around here and get rid of the 15. And he was going to try and hold for the 4 ball. He's going to have to crawl that 3 ball into the pocket just to drop it in dead weight, and even then he's struggling to hold for the 4. Get too much angle on the 3. Now is he nudging it in off the 11? Looks like it. Well, that's a good shot, because that now gives him position in the 2 where he can drop in behind that 4. My stomach is rumbling. I'm surprised you don't hear that on the bloody stream. I haven't had anything to eat since I come home from work to get this match. Has he gone far enough? Oh, he's just got there. Just got there. Well, it looks simple enough to pot the 4 and get off the rail at least to get a shot on this one where he can hold for the 8. Of course, I've just thought about it. I forgot about the 7. The 7's locked up. I totally forgot about the 7. It was blending in there with the 15 ball. Well, he's still got problems. Oh, that's a great shot. It is tough, but he's got a shot in the 7. This is not easy to pot this 7 ball and get position in the 1. He's got a narrow window to get into. The narrow window is there. Oh, that is... How is that for luck? Well, he can thin cut it in. And he can go round the corner, I think, as well. Let's see what the angles are off there. Something like that. Oh, he's tried to just hold it, and I think he's almost there. He's almost there. He's got the cut, but it is a dicey cut in this 8 ball. Well, that is an excellent run out by Acero. Under tons of pressure to bang home the advantage with his own break there after having stolen a rack from SemiPro. He's got it back to 6-5. And now SemiPro is under the same pressure. He's broke. He's got the 7 ball in the break. And we have still got a match on here. Very much so. And it's all going to hinge on how SemiPro deals with this situation. He's got a combo. He's chosen the stripes. And of course, you're never going to have it easy. He's got a problem, and that is the problem ball there. That ball there has to get something on this 10 ball. Now we'll have a look at that 10 ball. He's playing another combo here, and that's excellent. Run off the rail, in behind the 10, kicked it up the table, and the problem has been dealt with. However, he's now locked up the 13 and the 9 on the left-hand side. Well, he's not making his life any easier here. He's in one good effort to free up the 10 ball, and he's going to need another good one. He's going to have to do something to break out this 9 and this 13 ball. And he's got no chance here because he's dead straight in the 10. And there's the mistake. Trying to make an angle that wasn't there. But he's now got the 2 tied up with 11, so he's got his own emergency blanket or safety net, whatever you want to call it. The 2 ball is blocked off by the 11. So Acero's chance of just running out isn't going to happen right now. And if you... Now, Acero needs to think about this a wee bit here, because if he plays the aggressive shot to open up this corner and he leaves the cue ball somewhere up the table, he's got to, the most important thing is, I think, he's got to try and hide that 10 ball. He's got to cover the 10 ball. He can't give SemiPro a chance of getting anything off this 10 ball and breaking those 2 balls out. Well, now SemiPro's basically got a free shot to break out the 13 and 9, from what I see. And that's simply because Acero didn't get the cover behind the 11 there, trying to get it tight. Well, that changes it up to a point. We've still got the blocking ball here at the bottom of the table. Well, once again, acero has the chance. He can pot the 2 and get rid of the 11, and he knows that the 9 and the 3 are tied up. But acero can pot that 3 ball. If he gets the angle on it, he can pot it. He could go for the run out. If he gets the chance, that is. But I don't think there's any reason for him not to just pot this 2 onto the 11. Well, he's maybe tried to break the 3 out with that shot he played there. As I say, he can do all he wants up at the top end of the table. It's not going to get him any joy down here. He needs to deal with that 11 ball. But if he does now, he's got no way of hiding anything, because the 13 ball's right in the middle of the table. SemiPro could cut that if he left the cue ball down the bottom, and he could leave an angle to split the 9. Well, this is very much up in the air, this rack. Well, acero split the 9. But like I say, he's not helped the situation at all, because this 2 ball hasn't been dealt with sooner. He's trying to nudge it. Well, he's left the bank. This 2 ball looks a very good bank. It's off the rail, and it's on the diamond. He's just looking to try and hide behind that 2 ball, is he? Well, I don't think that was the wisest of shots he's ever played, to be honest with you. Because all he's done is given SemiPro the table and forced SemiPro into running out, which is obviously what he's going to be trying to do. And in the end, the 2 ball problem is probably going to cost acero in the long run. I still think he should have dealt with that earlier on. He should have potted the 2 onto the 11 and opened up that pocket. And he had the chance to leave SemiPro no real shot other than the 10 ball that was over on the right hand side. There's times when you have to be aggressive, times when you have to rein it in. And this is the only hope that acero's got, is SemiPro not getting good in the 8 ball, and he's pretty good in the 8 ball. And in it goes, and it's 7-5 to SemiPro. And acero is maybe going to pay dearly, because he's come up dry on his break. That might be very costly if SemiPro can get anything out of this set of balls the way the table's lying. Well, SemiPro has chosen the solids. He's still got the cut in the 1 ball. And now these 2 balls in the bottom rail here, the 4 and the 5 that we're looking at, there's no problem with them. They're easy enough to cut into either corner pocket. It's just making sure you get down far enough to be able to play a comfortable shot on them. And what about the top end of the table? Well, 1 ball, 6 balls get a pocket. Now, if he pots the 1, he could come back across in the gap there and leave himself on the 6. The worst thing he'll have is a shot in the 3. So why is he not taking the 1 ball? He's not even looking at the 1 ball. Oh, what am I talking about? He's on the bloody stripes. What a numpty. I'm getting excited here and forgetting what set of balls he's on and who's at the table. That's why he's not looking at the bloody 1 ball, you idiot. Because he's on the bloody stripes. Well, the pink 12 and the 14, well, they're a combo if you can get good on them. There's no desperate need to try and open them up. Although he might even, I don't know whether he can see the potting angle of that 14 from where he is. I don't think he can. But he's certainly got an angle in the 9 to break down into them and spin them open. But there's the 4 and the 5 bulb in there. Might end up, they might end up blocking any shots off if he nudges into this couple of balls. And in the end, he's missed them completely. Now, has he still got a shot on the 11? Because if he doesn't, he can still take the combo. He's going to have to make it. It is by no means anywhere near set, that combo. So this is another tough situation here for Acero to deal with. And now he's no choice. And what's worse about it is he's queuing over the 15 ball. He's looking down on the shot. And he's looking to cut that 12 ball across the 14 to get it in. And he's played it nice. But needs that little bit of running luck there. And he's got it. Now, all the remaining balls he's got all in the open. That's his 13 that's down there. 12 into the middle. His only dilemma is what one he takes first. You know, if he takes the 15, he's taking a risk at that angle and running over here, because he could finish up behind the 3 and have no shot at all. Well, he's nudged the 3, and that's exactly what's happened. He's nudged the 3 and he's blocked himself out and he's got no shot, and that was the danger with the 15 ball. He should have taken the 13, and that cuts out all of that problem, because he had a big area to get the cue ball around to and at least have a shot there. Wrong choice of shot in my opinion. Big risk. When there are balls in the path of where your cue ball is going, there's always a likelihood of problems. And he slammed straight into the 3, is banked off the side rail and back out and blocked him. And that could be, well, another nail in Acero's coffin if it comes to it, if he doesn't get lucky with this shot. This is what I talk about time and time again, about seeing. You have to be able to see possible issues, and again you weigh up the pros and cons of doing it. You decide, oh, it's worth taking the risk, but it's not worth taking the risk when you're 7-5 down in a race to 9. It is not worth it. There are other opportunities available to you, and you should look at those other opportunities. He weighed it up, took the risk, and well, now he's going to pay the price probably. Well, my voice is echoing if you've got two streams on at the same time, Potman. If you're listening to feedback, you're listening to feedback off another channel. because Bedhead hasn't got that problem. If you've got the two streams opened at the same time, that's how you'll hear an echo, because you're hearing a slight delay from one of the other channels, from either Twitch or YouTube. Anyway, SemiPro, just trying to do the formalities in this rack, or complete the formalities in this rack. But, you know, my alarm bell started ringing when I looked at where the 3 ball was and where they wanted to put the cue ball. And, you know, whenever that little voice in your head tells you something, then you know there's a risk. Do you really want to take that risk when you've got other opportunities which were a lot easier and less risky? And he's paid the price. It's now 8-5 to SemiPro, and SemiPro breaking off and needing one more rack, and the 8 ball has got in. That's going to spot. It's going to be well, I think they've decided a re-rack there, because I don't think the 8 ball could respot. I think it was blocked off by another ball, and this time the 8 ball is wide open. A couple other balls have gone down. 3 balls have gone down in the break. You still there, Potman? Have you fixed your problem? No. Well, what are you watching it through Twitch? And how many bloody windows have you got open on your browser? You should only have one window open in your browser, and you should only be watching it through that one window. You shouldn't have anything else open or shrunk down to your taskbar, and that way you won't be hearing any echoing. Maybe it's actually your ears that are a problem. It might be, you might be hearing echoing from anything that you listen to. But SemiPro at the table on the solids. A little combo here. Now that's gone wrong, but he's still got a lifeline. He can still cut the 5. Let's have a look. Where the hell are we? Yes, he can still cut the 5 in. See, I told you you're a bloody numpty. What are you? A bloody numpty. Now you see, only a numpty would say you can hear echoing without having checked that you've got 2 bloody windows open. Everybody point a finger at Potman and tell him he's a numpty. Go on. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. SemiPro looking to run out here. And if he's good on, well, he's not that good. He's gonna have to get clever here, because he's got slightly too much angle. Has he managed to squeeze it through? Has he nudged it safe? No, he's okay. That was a danger. And he should be home and dry. Little draw off the 3, wide open 8 ball. And oh dear, Acero is going to live to regret that shot in that last rack, because that has cost him the match. And in the end, SemiPro has won out by 9 racks to 5. Now he will go through to the final. It's going to be an all UK final, if the final ever goes ahead and it's ever fixed. And it's going to be between SemiPro and Franco. And let's leave the room. Right. Well, with that, folks, I'm going to waffle on here to SemiPro. Thanks for your company, guys. I'm going to try and get my broadcaster fixed, because I don't know what the hell's going on with it. And hopefully I'll be up and about and ready if these 2 guys can arrange their final to suit me. More often to suit me rather than to suit them. So I'm going to ask them to do me a favour. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again, hopefully for the final, whenever that might be.